It's not going to fit in my car. I'm telling you, it's too big. Harley scolded as I tried to wiggle and jimmy my bike into the back seat. Well, I'm taking it. And you said Count's still mad at me for barfing on him, and you said you want to drive. So? I said back, giving it another shove. Does it really have to come? Yes it does. Besides, what about Rissa? You think she would rather stay here alone instead of coming with us? To which Rissa answered, I don't want to go. I'm taking my bike. If it won't fit like this, I'm just going to take the wheels off, I argued, pulling the ratchet out of my bag and loosening the nuts. But as I slid the front wheel off the fork, suddenly Rissa's entire head just disappeared and she started wailing in agony. Oh God, what happened? What did I do? I don't know, it hurt. Make it stop. She pleaded desperately with a voice from an unknown source. As I fumbled in a panic trying to reattach the wheel, tears welling in my eyes thinking I broke Rissa, I started to hear a chuckle. That goddamn shit-ass was laughing. Rissa, if you weren't already dead, I'd kill you. I yelled as my heartbeat struggled to calm back down. Why even? I couldn't help it, she said through her now cackling laughter as she rolled back and forth on the ground, her massless body leaving it totally undisturbed. I think I mostly attached to the frame, so you could probably replace everything else and I'd be fine, she explained after calming down. New frame it is, I threatened, narrowing my eyes at her. Uh-oh, she squeaked before poofing away into thin air. You have to admit that was pretty good, Harley joked as I undid the master link and slid the rear wheel off. Can we just go? I feel like I've been awake for 4 days straight, I asked. It almost being true since the vivid reoccurring nightmare I've been having every time I dozed off hadn't let me catch much sleep. Oh hey, what are you up to there, big guy? I asked, seeing Henlau walking across the parking lot, the massive case from Hep's house strapped to his back. Hunting, he answered, never breaking his stride. Oh, okay, have fun. I didn't mean it like that. Oh, rest assured, I do intend to enjoy this. Yet it's still not taking the time so much as to turn in my direction. Henlau, monster hunter, I thought out loud. I wonder what that guy's deal is. Ji Henlau, naturalized American citizen raised in Hong Kong till age 17. Several amateur championships and a pro Shanshao title. Moved to the U.S. where he obtained several degrees in engineering from MIT. Enlisted in the United States Army immediately after graduation. Was selected from the 75th Ranger Regiment to Delta. Selected from Delta to SAD. The list goes on. I pulled his record after he kicked me, she added after seeing the suspicious look on my face. Well, I guess that explains the surplus alpha energy, I said, watching him leave the parking lot and vanish into the night. You okay? Holly asked once we parked in front of the Count's place and she saw I wasn't making any attempts at moving. You look like Tom sitting on the tracks. After sitting in silence for a while, I answered, trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Hook brought me in to get information from you because he knew you were trying to get information out of me. Now they got it straight from the source. They don't need me anymore. I just ride a bike. I haven't even done anything this whole time. I'm just being a spectator and a punching bag most of the time, I thought out loud. Spied on the lady who gave me a job when no one else would. I got Borg all shook up. I got Julie killed. I trailed off, letting my fingers slide over the raised skin on the silver lines of a coin. I shouldn't be here with everyone else. Ow! What the shit? I whined after Holly thumped me on the nose. Don't talk like that. First of all, you're the whole reason I'm here to help in the first place. And if it weren't for you, Hook would have crushed my skull like a walnut. And that too. You stood up for me after everything I did to you. You take everything in stride, and even though you don't have any obligation to be here, you still came without question. You might not be a lot of things, Jose. You're not a vampire, or a 200-year-old pirate, or whatever relic is. You might not have superpowers, and you might not be all that brave. But you are a good guy, Jose. So much so that it makes me sick sometimes. But I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt that you're good. And then she leaned over and gave me a small kiss on the cheek before reaching across me and opening the door and getting out to get her stuff. Let me know if you see the Count. I'm not ready for that conversation. Shit! I screamed, rounding the corner, almost running straight into him. Do you know how strong my sense of smell is. I can still smell the odor of your bile. Count, you be nice to the poor boy, the captain said, coming to my rescue and causing the Count to creep back into the recesses of his manor, giving me the stink eye the whole way. Welcome back, boy. Glad to have you with us. And you. He added dismissively at Harley's presence. Dr. Jekyll will show you to your room. All right, Hook, it's pronounced Jekyll. I've told you this many times already. Do I need to write in a poem too? Ah, yes, Jose. Fall in if you don't mind, Jekyll said, waving me to follow him up the stairs. I'm not calling you Jekyll when you can't even decide if your name is Jekyll or Hyde, the captain shouted after him up the stairs. He paused for a second and turned to face him. Oh, you'll know when to call me Hyde, old chap. Let there be no doubt. You'll know, he said with a smile that could curdle milk. So, do we get separate rooms, or... I asked, standing in the doorway of the one bedroom he led us to. Sorry, mate. Bit short on space, so you and the missus gonna be bunking together whilst you're here. But it looks like you two shared a bed once or twice, am I right? Wink wink, nudge nudge, say no more. And alright, he added as he made his way back down the hall. My room's right under yours, so if you do plan on keeping me up bumping uglies, at least have the decency to make the dirty talk intelligible and descriptive. It's been a while for me, and be awfully appreciated. As I placed my face into my palm, I could almost feel the heat radiating off Harley's blushing face. Well, he has a point. No reason for one of us to sleep on the floor, I guess. I thought out loud as I found a place to set my bag down. So, what ne- I started as I was interrupted by the captain sticking his head through the door. You, woman, with me, he demanded before walking back down the stairs. You go ahead, I'll be in here, being irrelevant if you need me, I told her. I just sat there for a while after she left the room until Rissa popped up. Oh, hey, I mumbled. The hell's wrong with you? She cried. At first I was kind of wondering why I'm even hanging around all this. Now I'm more mad that there isn't anything else I can do, you know? Hey, what are you? I'm a ghost, stupid. No, I mean, like, I can't really tell what color your skin is, you know? On account of you being see-through and all. But you kinda got foreign features. Oh yeah, my mom was Indian. I took more after her than my dad. That explains it. Is that it? Yeah, I was just curious. Don't really know where I was going with it. Jeez, man, you're really out of it right now, she said, sitting on the bed next to me. I guess so. I just feel useless. Don't like it too much. Oh, come on. You're not useless. Okay, look. This whole thing probably wouldn't be happening if it wasn't for you. You're always saying you just ride a bike, but you don't just ride a bike, she tried to explain. What are you talking about? That's literally almost all I do. It's about how you ride the bike, and what about you lets you do that? You could give someone anxiety just watching a video of you riding. The same thing that lets you weave in and out of giant metal missiles operated by people trying to text and drive, or maybe even run you over on purpose every single day like it's nothing. That's what lets you adapt to this paranormal insanity so fast. On the road, you have to deal with whatever comes your way and keep moving fast. Just like you've been doing this whole time. You're here right now because you can't stop, and you don't want to either. It's in your nature. So, what you're saying is... I don't know what you're saying. You lost me. Oh, Jesus, Jose. I'm saying you're here because you want to see this through to the end. You're committed. You gave this thing its momentum, and now you feel like you have to ride it out. And probably also for Julie. Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Any regular person would have lost their mind long ago. That whole thing with Tom Cruise. They'd be in a straitjacket, but you're okay. Oh God, you saw him too? I was really hoping I hallucinated that. Later that night, Holly came back up to the room and told me the captain was mining her for information. Apparently the idea was to get the details on security, manpower, location, all the stuff you need to storm the castle, so to speak. The captain and Holly both had a more tactical mindset than me, so a lot of what she said just went over my head, but it sounded like a plan. After that, the planning and surveillance started, with me doing little to contribute, as you might imagine. It was hard to even convince them to let me go out on the occasional ride, pointing out that I was part of several people on monster shit lists. But I made the counterpoint that the croc thing had Han after it, and for what it's worth, it's hard to convey in words what an absolute unit the guy is. I'm pretty sure the thing that goes bump in the night would do a lot less bumping if they knew he was out there in the dark with them. Also, I think I was starting to get on everyone's nerves, so they'd rather I be anywhere not where they were. I mean, if you got Dracula, Dr. Jekyll, Captain Hook all under the same roof, you're gonna start asking them questions. Dracula has surprisingly good Wi-Fi, Holly said over the phone as I rested on a park bench one night during a ride. I've been looking for some movies to watch when you get back. You ever seen Tucker and Dale vs. Evil? Only like 1 billion times. You haven't seen it yet, have you? No, she answered, disappointment in her voice. I can watch it again if you want. Okay. She chirped through the speaker and then hung up. We're not a thing, I said to Rissa, who was now glaring at me with her arms crossed. Yeah, if you say so, she said before vanishing. The ghost in my bike is judging me, I said to a random passerby as I picked up the bike and swung my leg over. You know how it is, I added before riding off, grinning at the awkward look I left on their face. But that didn't last long. After a while, I ran up on what looked from a distance like a man wandering around aimlessly in the middle of the road. I rolled up thinking maybe someone had strayed too far from an assisted living place or something. But as I got closer, I realized it was worse. Mr. G, is that you? What are you doing out here? Julie. Please come home, Julie. He mumbled in the dark as he paced back and forth, occasionally switching back and forth from English to Chinese. Oh no, Rissa said from my side. It's so sad. Does he know what happened? Mr. G, you gotta get out of the road. Somebody's gonna run you over like that, I said, walking over to him and slowly guiding him to the side of the street. I pulled out my phone and tried to call Hen Lao, but I couldn't get an answer. You, Mr. G said as he finally realized who I was. Where is Julie? Is she with you? She's always talking about you. If she with you, please take care of her. Tell her uncle loves her. I will, Mr. G, I said, trying to get an Uber to take him home through the watery eyes I had. I'm gonna get you a ride, Mr. G. After the car picked him up, I decided to cut the ride short and head back to Dracula's place. God, what even is my life right now? Are you okay? Holly asked once I got back. I had called and told her what was going on whilst me and Mr. G were waiting on the car. Not sure why, though. Just felt like I should. I think so. I'm gonna take a shower and we can watch that movie when I get out. So that night we both got in bed and watched Tucker and Dale vs. Evil on our laptop. And as the days rolled into weeks, we spent more and more time together watching movies and exploring the seemingly endless halls of the Count's manor. And yeah, I know I'm a scumbag, okay? You're gonna honestly sit there and say you never dated someone because you were depressed and vulnerable and needed the comfort? Besides, I was cooped up in Dracula's summer home with her. What'd you expect? So I never asked you about the whole vassal thing. Why'd you make that deal? I asked her one day whilst we explored one of the manor's underground tunnels. Well, I was in a relationship with this guy. A really strong guy. And everything was fine for a while until the first time he hit me. We were arguing about something and I woke up in a hospital. After that, it just kept happening more and more. I snapped. I didn't just want a way out. I wanted to get back at him, to really hit him where it hurt. It was always making sure I knew just how much stronger he was than me. So I started looking for a way to take that from him. And that's when Athena found me. She offered me a deal and I took it on the spot. I went back home and kicked the shit out of that man. I think he still walks with a cane to this day. So you don't worship What's-Her-Face because you're buying the shit that she's selling? You're just in it for the super strength. Then I can eat whatever I want and not gain any weight, and get to stay healthy and young for a lot longer than what's naturally possible. Ah, I guess that makes sense. Who really wants to work if they can avoid it, right? I mean, that kind of makes sense, I guess. Maybe you're so aggro all the time because you're still working out all those emotions from being powerless at the time. And here I thought you were just being a jerk for no reason, I said as we laughed together. Hey you! Yeah, you! The Chris guy from the Dirty Work Inc. barked at me as he walked through the door one day. You better tell your Taiwanese Terminator buddy to stop shaking down every entity he comes across. He's chasing away our business. Whoa, dude, I have absolutely no control over the guy. He's gonna do what he's gonna do. Also, I think he's Chinese. You ever tell you to make Kung Pao fuck off? Mark asked Chris as he and the other guy walked through behind him. Vive la résistance, I said, flipping them the bird as they passed, not entirely sure what was possessing me to antagonize them of all people. What was that about? Holly asked, watching the bunch file past as it gave me hateful looks. Looks like Han's running amok downtown and is hurting him in the wallet. Oi, you two! Dr. Jekyll shouted from down the hall at us. I have to say, wonderful performance last night. Good stuff, good stuff. But remember, volume, be descriptive. Give me something to work with. What's the point if you finish before I do? He said and passed as he walked after the Dirty Work Inc. gang. I really hate that guy, Harley mumbled, her face blushing red. We're gonna have to find somewhere else to... Yeah, definitely. I stopped her. I'll troll the tunnels whilst you're in the war room with the rest of the Legion of Doom. Please, please don't let me find Dracula's sex dungeon, I begged as I strolled through the corridors of the manor. 50 Shades of Grey, I said in my best Dracula voice, made myself chuckle a little. And then, someone else laughed. What the hell? I whispered to myself. He's cute. I like this one. He looks delicious. I heard 3 separate voices say from the shadows ahead of me. Okay, that's new. The next thing I heard sent an ice water shiver down my back as the voice behind me spoke. I think I'll eat his kidneys first. Without hesitation, I shot down the hallway, desperately searching for any place to hide. Where'd all the rooms go? Why aren't there any rooms now? I screamed as I realized that every opening to the countless rooms had vanished. I found a small recess in the corner of 2 halls and wedged myself in as I heard the manic laughter growing closer and closer. You can't hide forever. I can smell your sweat. I can feel your breath. The ethereal voice spoke as a woman who almost radiated her own light passed in front of my hiding spot. We'll find you. And then we'll peel your skin off with our teeth, inch by inch. Another one shrieked in my face as she lunged in front of my small crack. The flesh in her face began to split and fall away to reveal the snapping, wailing skull underneath. I managed to get one leg in just the right position to shove her away from me far enough back to slip past and take off again. Jesus Christ, which way's out? I yelled, looking for anything I could recognize. I ran until I could barely stand. The voices of the nightmarish women wailing and laughing behind me the whole way. After what felt like an hour, I couldn't keep it up anymore and I fell to the ground, gasping for air. As I heard them closing in on me from around the corner, I happened to look up and see a light shining from under the door to the staircase that led back up to the manor. In a last desperate attempt, I pulled myself up against the stone wall and staggered over to the door, throwing it open as I let my weight fall against it. I could still hear them. They were right on top of me. I dragged my way with each step, my legs virtually useless, until I turned to see one of the women round the corner, her mouth hanging wide open as a long black snake slithered and undulated further and further out of the back of her mouth. Oh, I think absolutely the fuck not! I squealed as my voice cracked and my legs roared back to life, propelling me the rest of the way up the stairs, almost breaking the top door down in the process. What is all the fuss about? The Count asked as he walked by, noticing my near-death expression. I forgot about the brides, I wheezed. Brides? I did not... Oh no, those are my daughters. he corrected, realizing what I was talking about. "And that is why I make them stay down there when I have company." He shouted down the stairway into the darkness, before grabbing a pillow off a nearby chair and slinging it down at them. "Awful naughty girls!" Which was answered by a series of hisses from just out of sight. "The door really needs a sign or something," he said as he latched it shut. "Do not worry, my child. They are quite mischievous, but they are harmless, I assure you." Yeah, harmless. If you don't count the 10 years they just shaved off my life expectancy, I mumbled to myself. About how much more planning is going into this black op thing you guys are working on? "It won't be long now, boy," the captain answered from behind me, causing me to jump, my nerves still on edge. "What's gotten into him, Count?" "I fear we neglected to warn him of the castle located under the manor." Come to find out that he had his entire castle buried underground right below his house. I'd been strolling around Dracula's castle for weeks, and I didn't even know it. Later that night, I made a midnight snack run down to the kitchen like I did most nights. But unlike most nights, this time there was someone else already there. A woman. But she didn't have scars like the rest of the crew. Well, me now, I guess. "Oh, hey, I was just getting a cheese stick or something," she said when she noticed me, yawning and ruffling her pearl white hair as she scratched her head. "Yeah, same," I replied sheepishly. You ever find someone so attractive they intimidate you? Feel like you're not actually allowed to look directly at them? Do I know you? Yeah, we met earlier. Remember? Eat your kidneys, peel your skin off with my teeth? Hey, she said, comically sticking her thumbs up and pointing at herself. Oh, okay. I guess you look kinda different without the veil of fear-induced delirium, I said, taking a small step behind the refrigerator. Oh, calm down, you big baby, she said, walking over and pulling me out from behind the stainless steel safety of the fridge. God, you scare easy. I do not, I responded defensively, thinking back to Relic's delivery review from the first job. Dude, I can still smell the piss down there. I'm Destiny, by the way, she added, reaching out to shake my hand. Jose, it's a long story. Yeah, I know, she interrupted. Yeah, I've heard you say that like 50 times since you've been here. I'm not obsessed with you. I'm just observant. Spider-Man Homecoming. Nice, I said, my appreciation for the reference getting the better of me. You like movies? Bitch, I saw the first movie. I remember when the Stereopticon was a big deal. Yes, I like movies, she exclaimed. I even saw your episode of Jerry Springer the day it aired, she said with a slightly devious grin. Wow, that's neat. Cool. Depressing. Romantic. Creep. It's something, I said, stumbling over my words. She's using you, you know? A girl can always tell, she said, leaning over the counter, touching my chest with her finger. I'm not sure what for, but I could tell the whole time you were walking around the castle. She texts someone whilst you're asleep, she added, running her finger around in circles. Huh? I managed to barf up through my exasperation. Oh, it's just a weird situation. First, she threatened me to spy on my boss. Then she kind of became a whole hookup thing, and then my girlfriend got eaten by a crocodile that was in the Olympics or something. Now we have to sleep in the same room together, and it's just... I would never use you. She stopped me, leaning in even closer. Well, not for anything you'd complain about, she added with a fangy smirk, a velvet crimson flashing in her eyes. Hi, I'm Story. It's long, Jose, I croaked, my brain apparently starting to microwave itself in response to her presence. Oh, you poor baby. Here, text me when the blood gets back to your head, she told me, taking the pen out of the drawer and writing her number on a paper towel. As she sat on the counter in front of me and I walked away, I realized what she was talking about. My thin boxers doing little to hide it. Oh, and I've seen Tucker and Dale a billion times too. Did Dracula's daughter just make a move on me? Well, fuck.